All right, y'all, I'm back with another one. I think I'm gonna do a reading for spur of the moment type of deal. But I'm gonna do a reading for my fellow Pisces out there. If you don't know much about me, I'm a Pisces. I'm also a master number 33 life path. And one more thing about me, that if you are into the spiritual realm of life, you might find interesting, is that I'm a reflector in human design. Maybe another video, if you don't know much about human design, I'll explain that. Maybe in another video, if you don't know much about life paths, I'll explain that. These are just like the archetypes explained in astrology. Whatever astrological sign the sun fell in during your birth would you'd fall into the category of that astrological sign. I'm a Pisces. So if you don't know about those things, I would, if I were you, just for further information or clarification about, details about who you are at a soul level, and maybe a little bit about what you're meant to do here on this planet. But anyway, I'm gonna get into the reading, and I don't really know the name of this deck, but because, as I said in the last video, I am a beginner. But I don't let that stop me from pulling cards. They often don't require me to pull them, as you'll probably see today, and interpreting them to the best of my ability. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with 3 cards. I think the 3 cards we're pulling again for Pisces. The 3 cards that I pull here are going to set the tone for what this reading might entail. So in the beginning, my original intention was that I would do a weekly reading, but I'm probably gonna do these readings maybe once every other day, if not every day. So I figured I won't confine them to any specific day or week. Maybe you just are looking for a message, and maybe this message will align with you. So very interesting. My first card is if you can see it there, it's the 7 of Wands. And as you can see on the card, there's little words at the bottom and on the sides that kind of explain more about this card. And I'll just read it to you. So this card is centered around regaining or losing control, mastery, choices, responsibility, myth, and secrets. Now I pulled this card upright, and upright, this card represents challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, and maintaining control. Now, as you can see in the card, if you can't quite make out what's happening, there's a man on this hill, and he's using this wand to fight off other people who might be We can't see the people, but we can see the wands, and it looks like, you know, he's fighting off the wands. And obviously the people are down there kind of poking up at him. So for the first card, what I'm understanding about this card is that you've reached some type of mountain. You're up on the mountain. And I wouldn't call it exactly a mountain, really. Even though it's more of a hill. It's more of a hill, but I see little tiny, if I zoom in here, there's like little mountains. It looks like little mountains that he's standing above. And with that in mind, he almost seems like a giant. He almost seems like a giant. Maybe these people attacking you right now, Pisces, are small people. They have equal size wands. So to me, you believe they are worthy adversaries. But I think the fact that you're on the hill and maybe even on the mountain, they're not seeing eye to eye with you, right? In the literal sense and also in the figurative sense. So with this being the first card, I don't think that you need to worry about these people, and I really hardly think that you need to defend yourself against these people. They seem like they're just not worth your time and energy. I would focus on the forward view, what's in front of you. And obviously, you know, they may be in front of you. All right, so the next card is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords. I'll let you read off what it says down there, as well as I will. So upright, this card means rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal. A lot of R's. This is the card for R words. And then you got solitude. So as you can see in the photo, we got the Four Swords here. And, you know, as I said in the last video, I'm a beginner. But I think rather than, you know, needing constant clarification on what the cards actually represent for an experienced tarot reader, I prefer, or I'm learning, I'm growing in this way where I just want to read the cards for how they make me feel and what I'm understanding in the cards. So I see this figure laying on what seems to me as a casket, and I've never heard a tarot reader explain it this way. Seems like to me it's a casket. It doesn't seem like a bed, or at least a very comfortable bed to be laying on. But then again, this individual is someone who owns Four Swords, which means he's probably very resilient. He's probably very tough. And, you know, maybe in this place, and you can see the stained, is he in a church? We don't know. I'll read the side card, the side of it as well. And the side says form, completeness, foundations, progress, power, and stability. So I guess this is what he's calling in as he sits there on that bed or casket and contemplates. He does seem very disciplined. I don't know that he's even sleeping, because he has his hands, you know, kind of in a prayer type of hold. And he's laying beside probably his, I would say, his favorite sword. That's his favorite sword, because he's got the other 3 swords hanging up. Maybe the 3 swords hanging up are the favorites, but I feel like the favorite sword is going to be right beside you at arm's distance. So he's at rest. He's relaxing. He's meditating. He's in contemplation. And this card coming after the 7 of Wands for me feels like this is your current energy. I feel like you just came from you're recovering from, you know, maybe a season or a period of having to defend yourself. And I think the best thing to do at that point would be to rest and also to, you know, recuperate and you know, try to gain a better awareness about, you know, where you're headed and what's important to you right now. And for the last card, we have Justice. This is a card that trips me up consistently. But I'll let you observe this card. So, with this judge on this, I wouldn't call it a throne, but it's a seat of high honor. And he has the sword of truth. and he has the scales, which to me means that, you know, balance is being restored. And on the side of the card, oh, I'm sorry, I'll read the upright. So upright, this card means justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, cause and effect, and law. So I feel like after this period of rest that you're in, there's going to be a period of justice, of restoration, right? Of balance. So what you put out there is only certainly going to come back to you. And I know that for a fact, right? I've lived that experience where, you know, sometimes you don't realize how your actions, right? Because you don't always see like the karma of it, right? You don't always see the actual consequences of your actions. So it makes you believe like you can do things and, you know, not really have to. Maybe sometimes you worry, like you feel like you have to watch over your shoulder, and then nothing happens. You're like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Something is gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back to the 7 of Wands and I'm gonna clarify it. I'm gonna clarify the 7 of Wands and see exactly what this challenge or competition is about. All right, what is the 7 of Wands? The 7 of Wands, I got the Fool. We got the Fool for you Pisces. And what do we know about the Fool? The number 0. This is the beginning. This is the very beginning. You're not even at level 1 yet. You're at 0, which is a good place to be at, right? There's nothing wrong with being at 0 because that means everything is in front of you, right? You're leaving everything behind you. There's no negative ones in reality, right? There's just 0, which is none, or 0.0, the beginning. And then there's 1, 2, and so on. So with the Fool showing up for the Seven of Wands, to me this means that, you know, you're putting this behind, you're putting the Seven of Wands behind you, right? You're putting this challenge that you might have been facing behind you. You're looking forward, you're looking ahead to a new beginning. Maybe you just feel like the Four of Swords, you're exhausted, right? And again, the upright of the Fool is new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous, optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity. And then on the side of the card, it says unlimited possibilities. That's where you're at right now. You're at unlimited possibilities because you're letting these wands go, or at least the challenge that these wands brought to your life. All right, I'm going to clarify the Four of Swords. I'm going to clarify this Four of Swords. What is the Four of Swords? Spirit, what is the Four of Swords? Six of Cups. So what do I know about this card? I know the first word probably is familiarity. Let's see. It is familiarity, familiar, family, happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, and nostalgia. And then on the side of the card, we got movement, balance, solutions, harmony, healing, and empathy. So for this card, pulling the Six of Cups for clarification of the Four of Swords, I'm getting that you're coming back to yourself, right? And yes, this is a card of, family and your connections and relationships. But with this card, again, clarifying the Four of Swords, which is a card of more of a independent, yourself. You're coming back to yourself. I'm getting you're coming back to yourself, right? You're healing yourself over what you came from. The Seven of Wands energy. And you're coming back to the happy memories in life, right? The happiness, the joy that you find in life. And that's coming through meditation. That's coming through, there's different forms of meditation, right? Not all meditation means you're sitting in a room with your legs crossed, silently with no distractions. Sometimes that is a quality form of meditation, but sometimes meditation is just spending time alone and, maybe going to the gym, right? Going to the gym could be a form of meditation. Doing things that don't require you to necessarily require too much focus out of you, And I say that very, please always be aware of your surroundings. Don't be a robot. You know what I mean? Don't be a robot, not aware of your surroundings, or, feeling like you're just so good at something that you don't have to pay attention. But what I'm going to say is, I find that sometimes I'm in the car right now. You know what I mean? This is almost a form of meditation. Not really, but it is, because I don't need to be mentally engaged too deeply right now, and what I really want to, talk about is driving. Sometimes driving is a great way for me to release thoughts and kind of, sift through what's actually important and how I want to, just really come back to myself, right? Come back to myself. Forget about the noise of the world, what's going on around me, what someone wants, someone's telling me in my ear and wants me to do, excuse me. But, sometimes I think, driving just is a great way for me to escape all of that external noise and come back to myself. So again, I think these two cards together are telling me that you're coming back to yourself. You're spending the time necessary to, rejuvenate yourself in a kind of nostalgic kind of way. And then I just realized we see the death card at the bottom. Transformation, right? You're transitioning. Pisces. I'm a Pisces through and through, so I know the struggle. And transition, I'm in it. We are all transitioning, and it's a beautiful transition. I'm so excited for what is in store for us as a collective. All right, now the only final card that I have left for this message is going to be the Justice card. He's sitting there with his sword of truth and the scales of justice. All right, what does this Justice card mean for us right now, Spirit? It's going to be a short reading. What does this Justice card mean for us right now, Spirit? That's what I like to see. This is what I like to see right here. The Three of Cups. All right, so with Justice coming in with this Three of Cups, this feels like you're getting what you deserve in life, right? This feels like you're finally reaching, the kind of place that you've been searching for. And with others, right? It's not just, with the Three of Cups upright, celebration, friendship, collaboration, creativity, community, happiness. And on the side of the card, we have triplicity, expression, expansion of the idea, growth, first stages of completion. And again, we're pulling this card upright. It flew out. And again, that's just how they come for me, is that they fly out. I don't really have to pull a card. But I am going to pull a card for my final message for you guys. So, again, this to me feels like happy times are approaching with good people, good like-minded individuals that, We can put the wands down finally, right? All that trouble, all that anguish, we're getting what we deserve now. We're no longer taking less. We're no longer accepting petty battles with tiny people who cannot level with us or understand things at the level we understand them at. And that's not, I'm not trying to talk down on anyone, but we know who these people are. They always show up. They tend to want to attach themselves to us because as Pisces, we're very sensitive, and I'm not very sensitive, right? But I can be sensitive. My rising sign is in Aries, so with that combination of Pisces sun and Aries rising, I'm sensitive. I'm not very sensitive, but if you say something that, you're trying to poke the bear, you're going to see the bear. That's it. You're going to see the bear. But that's just a part of my growth and evolution as an individual, is that it's my job to, have self-control, right? And some people, like we spoke about it with the Seven of Wands, some people are just not on my level enough for me to, invest so much energy into defending myself on that hill, on that mountain. So, we look ahead to what we deserve in life. We leave those wands and those people behind us so that we can focus on good memories with good people. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. Justice is coming. Celebration, friendship, collaboration, creativity, community, happiness. That is a good card. That's what I would want to see, as a as the light at the end of the tunnel. So, like I said, gonna be a short reading. I'm gonna pull, which I never do, so it's gotta be special. I'm gonna pull, I never just, like pull the card out of the deck. I let the cards speak for themselves. But I'm gonna pull a card for any final. Maybe I'll pull 2 cards. I'll pull 1 card and then I'll clarify it. So I'm gonna pull a card for any final messages for with this message. And there we go. Big time. Big time. The Ace of Swords. If you know anything about tarot, then you know the aces. I love when I see an ace. And I don't know, like as a beginner, I can't help but to think about the aces in, a regular deck of cards. The ace just seems like a magical card to have and, just to even see in a deck. So with this card, I'll let you read the side. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict, and surgery. So to me, this just means, and then the side I let you read was pioneering, leading, alpha, dominance, ambitious, originality. So to me, this just means when I saw new conflict, this to me meant we're walking into this is a new experience. And it's a new experience that you're equipped. I see the crown on this sword. which means that, to me, it means that, you know, you're coming from this higher place and you're equipped with the weaponry to succeed. As well as, you know, the higher perspective. This is a sword coming from the heavens. And it's being gifted to you with a crown on it. And, you know, with you being such a mighty individual, your energy is just so massive. You know, I'm picturing you standing above these mountains and reaching your hand out and grabbing that sword with the crown on it. A mighty sword to match a mighty individual. And we're clarifying. I didn't even get the chance to say anything. And I got 2 cards. Whew. Whew, baby. Whew, baby. 2 cards to clarify the Ace of Wands. Or, I'm sorry, excuse me, the Ace of Swords. And they are the King of Cups and the Sun. I'm going to give you a chance to observe these cards individually, starting with the King of Cups. And there's no side wording on this one, but so as you can see, the King of Cups is emotionally balanced. He has compassion. He's diplomatic. He has control. He has balance. He's a supportive leader. And he shows a level of tolerance. He's empathetic. Right? And as you can see in the picture, he sits on a throne on water. And he's so upright, like he's on the water, but he's not just like on the waves, right? He's not just on the waves. Like his throne is solidified in the water. So water in tarot, as a beginner, water in tarot represents emotions. Water in tarot represents emotions. His throne is not being moved by emotion. His throne is, if everything else is around him is like chaotic, like we know water, like if you're in the middle of the ocean, it's chaotic. Have you ever seen the movie, I don't know, any movie where someone gets lost at sea, or even just traveling at sea at long distances? It's not a pretty sight. Like you have to be well equipped to be able to, you know, traverse those great big waves. And in this card, the King of Cups, he's very grounded in this experience. And he's holding these cups, which means, you know, he's very in control of his situation, his emotions in his situation. And yeah, King of Cups. And then we got, let me quickly read off the side. There is no side. So the Sun, positivity, pleasure. I love seeing the Sun in any reading, because this is the ultimate card in the deck. If you didn't know, it means positivity, as you know, the first word. But it's so much when I read it and I look at this card and I feel it. Like, look at that sun encompassing half of the card. There's so much sun ahead of you right now, right? And you're being this King of Cups, heading towards this sun. So the message here is the sun is bringing positivity into your life. It's bringing pleasure. We like pleasure. Happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success. We love success, right? In my last video, if you caught that one, we talked about what the definition of success means to you and how that definition is going to be subjective because it means differently. It means different things to different people. So I challenged all of you to define success and what it means to you, and what it means for you to have obtained success. So anyway, rebirth, beginnings, and all is well. All is well. And again, this was clarifying. These were clarifying the Ace of Swords. All is well. Your communication is at an all-time high because you're emotionally balanced right now. You're in a place, right? The Four of Swords. You're taking the time to replenish yourself, and all pistons are firing right now. All the pistons are firing right now. You're headed into the sunlight with your inner child. He's riding this white horse of infinite possibility. These are great cards to see at the end of this reading. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to end it on that note as well. So, a little beginner tarot lesson for myself and for you. Thank you for joining me on this short but long 37-minute journey. And until the next time, peace.